Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Rox, and I'm coming to you today with the 14th installment of Roxicology. The funniest thing happened the other day when I was looking through my iPhone. I found some letters that I didn't flag. You guys, I get so many emails that I need to flag the things that I know that I need to keep track of, which is usually as soon as I get a Roxicology letter, I usually flag it. And I didn't flag these letters. So I had like 4 or 5 that was from a while ago, and I was like, damn. And these were, they weren't even long. I know the people that wrote them probably was like, well, damn, I wrote her some short shit and she still didn't read it. So I'm getting to it today. I hope y'all ain't solved your own problem by now. Well, it's all right if you did, but we're gonna do it because maybe it might help somebody else. Okay, so let's get to it. Hi, I'm a 37-year-old hairstylist in San Diego. I have a 19-year-old son who will be 20 in a couple of months. I've lived in San Diego for the past 20 years, but unhappy and lonely for the past 5 years. 5 years ago, my family started packing up and moving down south one by one. Now I'm the only one left here. Also, most of my good friends have relocated to different states, gotten married, and bought houses, etc. Being from a military town, people are always coming and going. I really want to move too, but I'm having second thoughts on leaving because of my son. I know I have to start completely over building my business in a different state. I don't have a problem with starting over because I do have some clientele where I plan on moving, but it's hard for me to see my son go without. He went to college in a rural rural city in Texas, and now he hates the South and only wants to stay in California. So I feel stuck here because I know it will be really hard trying to pay rent in Cali for him and restart my life. My sisters all tell me to let him work it out himself, but that would stress me out so much being in another state and my son calling needing things, but I can't provide them because I'm rebuilding. I had him so young and all I know is to take care of my only child, but I do want to move on so I can have friends and family close, get back to socializing and start enjoying my life, but I don't want my son to suffer. I think I'm stressed. Any advice? All right, people might see it a little differently than I do. I really think that you can't keep living your life for your 19-year-old child. I know that, when you're a single mother and you only have one child, it's always been just you and him against the world, so you guys have like an extra close connection or something like that. You, like any other parent would worry about their child, of course, but it's about time for him to start kind of being able to take care of himself. He's gonna have to either gonna move with you if he knows that he can't do it on his own, or he is going to stay there and try to figure it out for himself. But you can't keep making a decision for a 19-year-old child. I mean, he's gonna be, in a minute, he gonna have his own family. You're gonna be then stuck and stayed down there in San Diego, depressed and alone and all of that, when you could have been getting on with your life. You just can't keep living at some point you can't keep living for your child. That's not to say that you're abandoning him, but it's kind of like you're setting him up to, become independent and start to take care of his own self. Now, 19-year-olds still need help, okay? And we know that. And you can do whatever you can do, the best that you can to help him, but he has to also understand that it's time. He's a man. It's time for him to really get out. You guys know I am really a stickler for making sure that your children are independent enough to, when it's time for them to get out, that they get out and stay out. Get out, stay out, and make it happen for themselves. I wouldn't have any problem with helping either one of my kids. The blueprint in my mind is for when my children get to be 18 years old and they go off to college, that they never come back to the house, not to live. Breaks and summer breaks and all that while they're in college and everything, but the whole plan is for them to keep on stepping, okay? And I've told them that they've been knowing that for a long time. I've made it very clear that after college they keep on going, and it's not because I don't want them to be there, but it's because I don't want them to be there. I don't want to be having to take care of my child who's able to do it on their own. I wouldn't mind helping them at all, but what do they say? Okay, God help those who help themselves. Okay, if my children are trying to do it, I see that they're trying to do it and they still need the help, then I would be willing to help them. But I'm just taking care of them, just living my life for my children when they're grown, just really planning everything around everything that I want to do around their feelings is not going to happen. Once they become adults, that's what they are. So I'm kind of with your friends and family. I mean, just kind of, he's going to either, look, the decision is either or not he's going to come with you or he's going to stay there and try to work it out. But he needs to know that you're not going to be able to do as much for him because you're going to be trying to get your stuff together on that side. He going to either get over to being down in the South or he's gonna, you know, step up to the plate and make it happen for himself. So that's how I feel about it. I think that you should do it. I think that you should do it because it's time for you to be happy again and be around your friends and your family and the things that make you feel good. 5 years of being depressed is not a good time. I've been talking to this guy for the past 5 years. We are both at different universities in different parts of the world, but from the same hometown. I was always willing to be in a long-distance relationship, but anytime we talked about it, he always gave me reasons that included him not being able to be here physically and him not being where he wants to be financially. He visits me about 2 times per year where money permits, and every level of our attraction is phenomenal. He graduated this year and is staying at his present location to start his career. I'll be graduating in the winter, but I find myself calling BS on his reasons that now only sound like excuses for him not wanting us to move forward in a relationship. So before I even think about moving to where he is, I want to move forward with a committed relationship. Do you think his reasons are BS, and do you think I should even consider making such a big change in my life for someone who is not willing to make a small change getting into a relationship for me? Do you think I should be with him at all? I know at the end of the day it's my decision, but any and all advice will be greatly appreciated. Before I get into this letter, I gotta tell you guys that this person actually wrote me a very long version as well to kind of explain the story. And to make a long story short, while they were both at 2 different schools, this guy ended up getting married to somebody. He was married to that person for a few months, like 3 or 4 months, and then he realized that he made a mistake. He got a divorce. But when the person that wrote this letter found out about it, she was very hurt and upset, like you all would, you know, understand. She didn't know anything about it. She stopped talking to him for a while, and then you know, once he realized he made a mistake, got the divorce, he called her. They got back in touch with each other. She actually spoke to the ex-wife. The ex-wife said, yeah, he always said he was in love with you and this and that and the other. And so they resumed their relationship. Okay, so that's an important part of the story that was not in the letter because it was too long, but that's the short of it. So this is how I feel with all that being said. Long distance relationships are very, very tough. Okay, they are hard to be in. They're hard to stay faithful in. And I am not really I just really don't think that you can build a relationship with somebody if they're away from you. Eventually, at some point, somebody is going to need the other person, and that person going to be 5,000 miles away from them. And what do you do when you are in that state? When you are lonely, when you need somebody, you want companionship, you want intimacy, you want all of this, and you can't get it. Okay, you go find it. And usually you find it with somebody that's right near you. That is probably why he ended up marrying the girl. That's probably why he was looking for the immediate, you know, he was looking for some immediate, just something to soothe the fact that he needed somebody or he needed something, whatever it is. Okay, so that's what happens when you are in long distance relationships. You don't know what the other person is doing. You can only know by what they tell you on the phone. You're not around them. You're not around any of their family. You're not around any of their friends. You are not around anything. It takes a lot of trust. It takes a lot of being able to just not worry about anything other than you guys' relationship. But you know, it's a lot of room for other people to get into your relationship, and when that happens, that's when that's when things like this happen. You sneak off and you get married and you don't know nothing about it. I don't think that he was so bad in saying, yeah, we can't do this because you know, I'm not there physically. The whole thing about finances, yeah, I mean, I can see a lot of guys say things like that. That may or may not be true, okay? It may be true. Maybe he might be the type that really wants to be able to be settled and firmly in his career and making certain type of money. I think most of us that have, you know, dated and gotten married know that, honey, you ain't never really ready. You don't never have the money that you want. You know, if you're going to get married, you're just going to get married and try to build together. Nobody is ever in a financial place where you know, it's just perfect. It's like, okay, now we can do it. Okay, it's just called, that's why you get married and you grow with somebody together. But it may not be true as well, because we know that he got married to somebody. Okay, so he might have been seeing other people. He might be seeing other people still currently right now. I'm not saying that he doesn't care about you. He probably does. For you guys, so he comes to visit, you guys have a good time when he's there, or whatever, when you guys are together. But when he goes back home, fact of the matter is you guys are not together anymore, and he could be doing anything there. Okay, you would be, you know, people can lie, people can act, people can make you feel and think one way and it be totally something else different. Okay, and you know, you would be thinking in your mind like, oh my God, this person could never do this to me, and then they do it. And then you are so shocked, like, I would have never expected so-and-so to have a whole fucking family in another state. Okay, I'm not saying that he has another family or nothing like that, but you know what I mean. It may or may not be BS. I know for 100% for a fact that I would not move nowhere without, you guys are not in no kind of position for you to be moving anywhere, because you guys are not even in a relationship. Why would you move there? If nothing like that has even been discussed, it would be different if you guys had the discussion. It was like, okay, I'm going to close up everything here, finish school, get my shit together, and I'll be there in 6 months, you know, and then the idea is, we know that we're together though right now. This is what it is. But if you moving out there, he still ain't even said he willing to be in a relationship because he's trying to get his shit together, then why would you even be moving out there? Why would you take the chance? You could go out there and he still might not be ready. Then you done uprooted your whole life and moved out there for nothing. I don't know what's going on with him. It just sounds like it might be more to the story. Okay, so, and it might not be more to the story. Basically what I'm saying is that you know you should not move out there, and you guys are still not even in a relationship. I would stay where I am. If he was really serious about being with you, then he would let you know, and you wouldn't have all these questions and doubt about it. Okay, so good luck to you. I'm sorry I didn't read your letter. I had it all wrong last week, so I wanted to make sure I read this letter this week. Hi, Rox. I am 24 years old and pregnant by one of the most selfish men I've ever met. When I met him, I was a student in college and working. We had a friendship, but then decided on an intimate relationship. Soon after that, about 2 months later, I got pregnant. I know, not a smart move, but the damage is done. When I found out and told him that I was pregnant, he was overjoyed. Well, at least he led me on to believe that. Well, fast forward, I had moved back to my hometown to receive help from my family, and he was pissed before I left. But when I found out I was pregnant, I was 2 months. I left the town we lived in at 4 months and only saw him once. Plus, he would text me to meet him at odd times in the early a.m. between like 1 and 4 a.m. at odd places, and I was concerned that he was going to harm me. Well, I am 7, almost 8 months pregnant, and he is in the military, and he will not give me any of his information, such as his unit number or sergeant's name. He also will not converse with me because I will not name my twin boys the names that he has picked. I think he is using this reason as a cop-out not to talk to me. I am truly at a loss for words. Rox, please give me your insight on what his issues might be. Alright, so I'm not trying to be on anybody's side. I'm just going to tell you how I think maybe he might be thinking and why you guys have like a lot of miscommunication here. So he finds out that you're pregnant. You guys find out that you're pregnant, and everybody is excited and happy about that. Okay, and then you leave. Okay, and you know, I know that you're the woman and you're the one that's carrying the child, and wherever you go, well, damn it, the baby got to go with you because he's inside you. But you left him and you took yourself and his babies and you done moved off somewhere else, so he won't have any contact with his children anymore. So that might be the first reason why he has some agitation, because he probably feels like you done moved off with his kids. That may not be what it is. I mean, that may not have been what you was trying to do. I mean, if you need the help and you want to be around your family, yes, the support system is very important when you're having kids, especially if you're having twins. So I can understand that. But why is it that you didn't think that you guys could do something together? You guys got pregnant together. You guys are going to have children together. So why was it that you didn't think that the help would be with him? Why is it that you felt that you needed to go home to your family? I'm not saying that that's a bad idea. Maybe it's because he's very irresponsible, or maybe he's not really helpful, or maybe it's, you know. But I'm just kind of asking because Sometimes when you get pregnant, I mean, we've done the adult thing, we've had sex, and we about to be for real an adult that have for real responsibilities. We can't always think that we got to rely on our parents or our family or anything. Yes, a support system is good. However, we got to bear the brunt of it. It's ours now. So, that's probably why there's some irritation, why there's some problems there. Maybe you weren't able to really communicate to him that that you're scared, you having this kid, these twins, and you felt like you were by yourself and you felt like you just needed the help. However, you're not pushing him out, you're not getting rid of him. He's still their father. You still want him to be involved. You plan on getting them together some kind of way. I mean, are you planning on moving back to him? Are you planning on staying away? Like, it's a lot of things that there's still questions. The part about him being in the military and not giving you the information, yeah, that's ignorant and that's stupid and that's retarded. And really, I think that you're protected in that you could still get that information. I'm not really clear. I've never been in the military, but I just kind of, people out there who are in the military who know about these things, give this person some advice and some guidance on what she could do to make sure that her children have like coverage, like insurance coverage and things like that, because even with him being an asshole, even with him deciding that he's not going to tell you anything, those are still his children, okay? And if we got to go through paternity tests and get all that proved and all that, then you could take legal steps, of course, to make sure that your children are taken care of. The military does not play when it comes to things like this. They make sure that the right thing is done. And then the whole thing about him you guys meeting at weird times, like, that's all strange. Like, I don't understand. Yeah, I would be concerned too, like meeting between 1 and 4 in the morning, like normal people, like what you trying to not have witnesses and all that. So I think it's a lot more to the story that I'm not really getting. I can only kind of see his side, which is he's irritated you left him with his babies, okay? When I first had my son, I let my husband choose his name, okay? And because it didn't really matter to me. And, men got this whole thing as if they having boys and they want to name them. And, it's this whole kind of male ego. This is my son, I'm his dad kind of thing, Sometimes we have to compromise. Now, if you didn't want to do it, then you didn't do it. And that's fine, too. But, especially if he was going to come up with some old crazy ass names. You guys got a lot of miscommunication. You guys got a lot of bitter energy that's going between the two of you now. So it's probably hard to meet in the middle of anything now. Everybody, whoever has some more advice to what it is, you go and leave that below. Also, the stuff about the military, if anybody knows how she could make sure that her children are have medical insurance and things like that, can you guys also come maybe let her know what she could do? All right, so that's that. Good luck to you. Hey, Rox, I have never met my boyfriend's family. We have been together for a year and some months now, and I have never met them. When I ask him, he says, I just want to make sure we are on the same understanding before we make that step. I thought we were already on the same page. It's confusing because he treats me like a queen, and he says he wants me to spend his life. And he says he wants to spend his life with me, but sometimes he is unsure. I know it doesn't take a whole year for a man to realize if this is the person they want to be with. I have asked just about every man in the family their thoughts, and they all say he's fucking somebody else. I really don't want to believe that because I don't feel that he's messing around or cheating on me. A woman knows when her man is cheating, but I just don't have that suspicion. I just need help because if I don't meet someone soon, I'm going to have to let this go. I'm too young, 24, to be wasting my time on someone who is unsure or want to keep me a secret, especially when I'm about ready to make some family goals. What should I do? Okay, first of all, it was so many things going through my mind while I was reading it. I was like, Roxanne, make sure you remember this point. Okay, so the first thing is he hasn't let you meet his family, and it's been over a year now. It's time. He should have brought you around the family by now. I'm not saying that you guys should be getting married by now, okay, because a year is not always long enough to be figured out if this is the person that you want to marry, okay? But it's definitely time for you guys to have him to at least bring you around the family and, like, you know, officially let everybody know that this is my girlfriend, or this is, you know, my fiance, or this is my whoever you are. Okay, so I would be concerned as well. Like, why haven't I met anybody in the family? Okay, is it because he got a whole nother somebody else that everybody already know? You say that women can tell when their men are cheating. That is a myth. People say that all the time. You can't always tell when somebody is cheating. There are some smooth actors, some smooth operators out there, men and women, okay, who you would never, ever, ever suspect are doing anything, and they are doing something, okay? So we can't always feel like, oh, that person will never do it. It's possible. They're human, okay? Humans make mistakes. Humans have needs. I will never, ever put it past anybody. It is possible that it could happen. Okay, it may not be happening, but I don't want us to always believe that somebody is incapable of doing anything. Good people even cheat. Great people even cheat. Even if you can't feel it, that don't mean that it's not happening. Okay, that doesn't mean that it is, but it doesn't mean that it's not. 24 years old, you are still young, but 24 years old, 25, 26, by the time you start getting to 26 and 27s, you about ready to make it happen, okay? It's you about to get into your 30s, you ready for the next stage. So I still feel like you have time. If you feel like you're wasting your time with him, then, you know, and if it's easy enough for you to be able to cut it, if you feel like you could do it, then I would maybe think about doing it. If I still got to the point where, if I still would talk to him and mention to him that I haven't met his family yet, and he's still kind of giving me this, oh, baby, I need to wait until I know for a fact, it's like, all right, something is not right here. And I'm just going to bow out gracefully, because obviously if it's taking you a year and a half to figure out, you know, if we on the same page or whatever it is that he said, then we not on the same page. And I'm going to just move on, okay? Dear Rox, first off, let me start by saying I'm really a huge fan. Well, thank you. My boyfriend and I have been together ever since I was 14 years old. We are both 18 years old and have recently graduated high school. The problem is he got a scholarship to USC and will be attending school there this fall. All right, go SC. You know, I'm an LA girl. And I received a scholarship to the University of Alabama. We love each other very much and don't want to break up, but long distance relationships are hard, and it will be even harder during college. My family tells me they don't want my college experience to be ruined by worrying over a guy, but at this point, we both don't want to date anyone else, and he is my first everything, and I don't want to lose him. What do you think I should do? You know what? This is all a part of growing up. This is all a part of living, okay? You guys are high school sweethearts, and but, you know, life, your education has taken you guys down two different paths. Y'all have told you guys plenty of times how I feel about long distance relationships. They are very hard. You get to college, I know it don't feel like it now, okay, because you all wrapped up in the love and he's the first everything, and you guys have had some great times, and, you know, in this primary stages of your life, but we about to get secondary now. Okay, and when you get to college, it's gonna be so many men and so many women, and it's gonna be so much stuff to do. Just on a social aspect, you are gonna have a lot more people around you. Your education, school is gonna be hard. You guys both sound like you're very smart kids, okay? You guys both have scholarships. You guys are gonna have, your studies are about to really kick ass, okay? You guys are gonna be deep down into them books. You're going to be deep down into having a good time, socially. I'm not saying that people don't do it, to have long distance relationships and things like that. But what I would think would feel more comfortable to me is, why don't you guys say this? We going to still stay friends while this one is there and the other one is here. And, you know, on breaks when we both come home and, you know, we can spend time together and have a good time. But when we're apart from each other, then we need to live our lives. And, you know, if at the end of the 4 years when everybody is about to graduate, and if we still feeling like we got these feelings for each other, then let's bring it on back together. But staying in a committed long distance relationship when you guys are going to have so many things going on in your life, is not impossible, but it's going to be really, really difficult. And then for you to commit yourself to something and then find yourself not being able to hold up to it because it's going to be so many men around, or because it's going to be so many women around him, and you're going to be so preoccupied. I mean, you guys are going to be so far away from each other. And that's not to say that you're not going to miss each other and still care about each other and all that, but gosh, if you guys are supposed to get to be together, then you guys will be together, okay? At the end of this whole ride, okay, of college, if you guys are supposed to be together, you'll be together. Because I have friends that married their high school sweethearts. They both went off to different colleges, and then they still ended up back together. It happens. It definitely happens. But I also know that my girlfriend that did that, she did quite a bit on her own when she was off at college, okay? Not to say that she didn't love her boyfriend and everything, but she was out. She was busy living her life. And I think that's all your family is trying to tell you. Live your life. Live and do everything that you need to do in that time that you guys are apart. So when it's time for you guys to really be committed and in a relationship, you'd have got all that other shit out of your system and you'll be ready. So that is my opinion. That is my advice. I would kind of go by what your family and friends are saying. I know that it just sounds impossible, but you know, have the talk with your boyfriend and you guys really try to think about it and look at it from a bigger and broader point of view. Okay? Good luck to you, though. I'm really proud of both of you guys that you guys got those scholarships. That is a wonderful thing. My son wants to get a scholarship to USC, and I was like, baby, that might be the only way you're going to make it there unless mama is rich by then, okay? So anyway, good luck to you both. Getting right into it, I need some advice on a family issue that I have going on. I am 20 years old, and I am living with my boyfriend. Now, I know for most people that might not be a big deal, but I'm a Christian and was raised that way, so we all know how Christians feel about shacking up. My father is very against my relationship and my living situation. The ironic thing about that is that my parents kicked me out of their home for some foolish reason, and I felt that I had nowhere else to go, so I moved in with my boyfriend. So really, when you think about it, it's my parents' fault in the sense that I'm living with my boyfriend, but off of that, my dad is completely against it. My boyfriend is the person I lost my virginity to at 17, and my dad found out about it at that time. So that's the biggest reason why he doesn't like him, along with him not wanting me to be living with him. Now I know I'm young, but I'm very mature for my age, and I know that this is the man that I will marry. We actually plan on it within a year or so. I have a good man. He would do anything and everything for me. We both work, but he does make sure to provide for me and make sure I get nearly everything that I need and want. We have a nice apartment in a good neighborhood, and everything is just stable. We are both college students, and I know most people would say boyfriends are too distracting, but he is my biggest support and the person who pushes me to excel the most when it comes to school. I'm telling you this all because I want you to see that he truly is a good guy, but my dad just will not budge. He won't even try. He specifically goes out of his way to make my boyfriend feel uncomfortable every time we're around the family. He also says some very mean things about my boyfriend that my boyfriend knows about, which is my fault, and I wish I would have just shut my mouth. So now my boyfriend is feeling like he doesn't want anything to do with my father either. The situation is just so completely messed up because I love my dad, as stubborn as he is, and I want to respect his will, but I'm grown and out of the home, and I am completely in love with my boyfriend. This is the man I plan on giving my parents' grandkids with someday, and yet the two most important men in my life can't stand each other. Any advice on what to do? Sorry if it's too long. It was too long, but this is a good letter, so that's why I read it. You actually do sound very mature. When I read your letter, something about your letter just kind of touched me, okay? Because you are really aware of the dilemma that you're in, and you care about it, okay? We care about our family. When it all boils down to it, we want our parents to approve of our decisions and be proud of us, you know, that they turned out somebody that was successful. So you want your dad to look at your relationship in that way. The fact that your dad knows that this is the person that you lost your virginity to, that's hard for men to get over, especially somebody who's as involved in the church and, you know, devout Christians and things like that. That sounds like your parents are. Yeah, that's probably really hard for a man to think about his daughter in that kind of way. He now, just every time he sees your boyfriend, that's the first thought. So you guys started off bad, okay? Because he never really got a chance to see the good parts of your boyfriend. He just thinks that's the asshole who stole my daughter's virginity, you know, ruined my daughter, whatever, you know, they'd say about losing your virginity. And then as you grow up, you realize that a lot of times that you just need things to like work themselves out. So the fact that your dad has said some things about your boyfriend, yeah, you probably should not have told your boyfriend that, okay, because men have egos. And you know, whether or not he ain't his dad, he's your dad. So your boyfriend probably looks at him like, damn, he said all that shit about me, why would I even want to be around him, you know? So now you've made it a little bit more difficult, because now your boyfriend don't want to do it and your dad don't want to do it, but you want it to happen. 20 years old, even though I do say that you sound like you're very mature and everything, you are still young. So your dad probably feels like here's this man that's just really making you make all these crazy decisions, and now you're talking about getting married and you're only 20 years old and this, that, and the other. What is the rush? I'm not saying that you guys shouldn't get married or even be talking about getting married, or you can get engaged and things like that, but why are you guys in such a hurry to get married within a year? I know it doesn't feel like it, but you still have a lot of growing up to do. Even though you are doing what grown-ups do. You got bills now, you got rent, and you got school, and you know, responsibilities, work, and all of that stuff. It's still a lot more things that 100% guaranteed you haven't experienced yet, and it's coming down the pipe. I just don't know what to tell you about your dad. If you can't sit down and talk to your dad and really explain to him how you feel about it, and because your dad still looks at you as his child and someone who don't even know no better, this might, I don't even know what to tell you. I don't even know what to tell you. The only thing that you can do is to really try to get your dad to understand how you feel about it. And, you know, maybe you could write him a letter. I mean, you wrote this letter so clear and precisely. It made a lot of sense to me, and it touched me for some reason. I don't even really know why. Maybe you could do the same for your dad. Some parents are just stubborn or not going to budge. This man, he might not never like your boyfriend, and that's something that you might have to be prepared for. And then when that happens, then you have to decide if you're still willing to go against your parents' wishes, which at some point we probably all do, because it's called growing up, and decide if this is the man that you want to be with because this is the man that you love and he's good to you and this and that and the other, or if you're going to abide by your parents' rules. I mean, you know, you get to be 24, 25, 26 years old. Yeah, my parents matter, but I'll make the final decision. Okay, but let's not rush and get married yet. That's all I'm saying. Let's just put on the brakes a little bit. Let's just be together for a while, get engaged, and then let's talk about marriage a little bit later. Okay? Anybody else know what else to tell her? Because this one is hard. This one is hard. Hey Rox, love your channel. I need your advice on this situation with my ex-husband. He and I were married for 6 years and had a beautiful baby girl before we separated. We were both Christians, and after the divorce was finalized this past year, he became Muslim, which was fine by me. My issue is that he takes my now 5-year-old to his house of worship. How he lives his life now is his business, but I'm raising my daughter in a Christian home. I ask him to please not take her, but regardless, he takes her. I'm not comfortable with my daughter going to 2 separate churches and possibly getting confused. Am I just being uptight? When she is of age to choose what she believes in is fine, but until then, I'm raising her as a child of God. I'd really appreciate your feedback. Thanks in advance. All right, this is a good one, and I wanted to read this letter because I actually have a good friend of mine who is Muslim. He's a devout Muslim, and then his ex-wife is Christian. I believe she was raised Catholic. And then they have kids together, and of course their kids are being split between 2 different faiths. First of all, I just want to say that I know that you want to raise your child in a Christian home, but he wants to raise his child in a Muslim home. Okay, so it's a compromise. It's a 50-50 down the line kind of thing. Okay, this is the jacked up part about when families split, and you know, you have to take into consideration everything. I mean, what about what he wants? This is also his child, half of it. When we look at it, this child split down the middle. One half is his, one half is yours. The half that goes with you goes to your church, and the half that goes with him goes to his church. I know the faiths are different and everything, but isn't the general concept, we believe in God, okay? When we start breaking into denominations and things like that, I mean, I know that Muslims have some differences. I'm not naive to that. that fact or ignorant of that fact, but your child is going to have experienced both sides, both religions, and then your child will be able to decide which one she likes better. She may go along with being a Christian, but what if she decides to be a Muslim? Okay, she's had the experience of both, and she'd be able to decide when she got older. But I don't think that we can just say, I want to raise my child as a Christian when we're not together anymore, and you know, he has his faith and that's what he believed. And I think that it happens. I mean, I've heard that, I've heard of, I mean, it's not an ideal situation for a Muslim to be married to a Christian and things like that. You know, you want everybody to be equally yoked, and, you know, I know how all that. But I've heard of Christians being married to Muslims. You know, my jeweler's in LA. She's Jewish and he's Muslim, okay? And they're together and happily together and have been married for 100 years. Not that long. Sherry. But yeah, different faiths can blend. And you have just really got to be able to work out the differences and everything. But the general message is the same. We believe in God. God is only one God. Okay, so I don't know. I don't think that you're really being the most fair. I don't want you to be mad at me and stuff since you watch my videos. And I mean, I'm sure you still have your opinion. But if you were to ask me, I don't think that is being that fair to think that he should just give up exposing his child to the religion that he has chosen as his faith. Okay, so maybe you guys can sit down with the leaders of both of you guys' religions. Maybe you can sit down with your pastor and he can sit down with my friend would be so mad if I didn't know these names and remember the, you know, I know it's Juma and it's Masjid and it's it's not a pastor, but you know, the person that gives the sermon or whatever at the he would be so mad at me because anyway, maybe you guys could meet up with those leaders of both of you guys' individual religions, and maybe you guys can come to some understanding, you know, because maybe you might just be looking at Muslim as just some old way out, something so extremely different from what you believe, and you might find that it's not all that different than what, you know, Christians believe. Like I said, I know there are some nuances, there are some differences, and there's some things like that, but in the general sense of things, it might not be that horrible. Okay, so that's what I think. Please don't be mad at me, but I have to tell you exactly how I feel. Okay, so good luck to you. Alright, you guys, I done read a whole bunch of letters. I still have a lot of letters left, so you guys don't really send me too many letters this week. Let me get through these next few letters. I have like 5 or 6 letters left. Let me read those in the next Roxicology, and then we can pick up sending the letters again, okay? I'm sorry for y'all who wrote me those letters a couple of weeks ago and I didn't get to them. I'm going to do better, you guys, I promise. Anyway, you guys, I want you to remember to rate, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar below. I hope that you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.